I want to bring to the front of the congregation this little boy that we all grew up watching. If you decided to catch an episode or so. This little boy that we all grew up watching, and from birth they name him Kane. Kane. T.I. had an album called King. And now, shout out to the Vibe Magnum Group Vibe Lounge in the building. I'm going to be reading that super chat shortly. And now, we have created a monster. Because we crowned somebody a king without having to do anything to prove themselves worthy of the crown. We all thought that this little boy was the slow one of the group. We looked at him and we tried to figure out, why is this stepchild over here? Because he didn't look anything like T.I. when I first seen him, but I said, okay, he looked more like his mama than his daddy. That's your mama child. You look like you look like your mama. And so when we was looking at him accordingly, on these shows and stuff like that, and we seen him, we said, well, he probably is the autistic one. He might be the slow one because he's still sucking on his pacifier. And so they just trying to make him comfortable throughout his life because we don't even know if he's going to be able to talk when he get older, right? And then he started talking. And we said, okay, so he not slow. I'll take that back. He not the autistic one. Right. Major is a smart one. I agree. So why they name him King? King? Because words mean things. Well, recently, he was at a Falcons game. And he decided that I want to disrespect my mother and father who have put me in a position to do this in the first place. 2 = 1, say get the belt. Don't worry about it. I got you. While we watching this, I'm going to go ahead and get the strap. Because let's be clear. We didn't call it a belt back in our day. My mother said, go get me the strap. I don't know where they got the word strap from, but for some reason it just stuck. Because when she said go get the strap, she wasn't talking about a gun, but it sounded like it when it went across your back. I bet you this little boy, this spoiled little monster, have never had a good old-fashioned strap a day in his life. Kane, I guarantee you, has never had a good old-fashioned You've been arrested. Smoke weed. Talk to grown folks disrespectfully. Don't have no respect for his mama or his daddy. Let me tell you something. One thing is for sure and two things is for certain. We never disrespected our father or our mother. One thing is for sure. Two things is for certain. We never disrespected mama and daddy not one day of our life. Because that's what it sounded when it went across your back. Ah! Ah! Boy, if you don't be quiet. The only thing screaming did was allow for your neighbors to laugh at you because the neighbors heard you. Listen, on 20214 Green Lawn with 20216 and 20212, they all heard you. Ah! Ah! And then my neighbor gonna come over there talking about, did y'all hear that movie over there where somebody was dying on the TV? I said, well, nobody dying, nigga, that was me. That was me. I thought that I caught the ghost. It was hard out here in these streets. Woo! Kane. All right. Let's see what he had to say to his mother and father.
King, have you ever woke up with a roach on your face?
Period. No, that's not the goal.
All right, then. Go.
Or in your ear.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I got in the neighborhood with me that broke up with roach
in your ear?
Y'all want to go to the bando in my neighborhood? Do y'all want to go to the bando? Do y'all want to go to the bando? To make him look better, he said it, he know not true. Silver spoon, I ain't never ate with that day a day in my life.
Nigga, you did have a silver spoon.
This boy said, I ain't never had a silver spoon in my mouth in my life. Boy, you grew up in a gated community on a TV show and your mother and your father was rich. What are you talking about? He was live on his own live, Connie. It wasn't that nobody was filming it. He had it on a live and people was just recording it. You grew up in Bel Air. You was the real Fresh Prince of Bel Air. Boy, you supposed to be Carlton. If anybody grew up with a silver spoon in their mouth, it was Kane. He said, do you want to go and visit the bando? Oh, my God. Do you want to? He is talking to his mother and his father and saying, do you want to go and visit the bando? Y'all know what a bando is? It's an abandoned house or an abandoned spot. Often at times in Detroit, we called it bandos, but it was places that you did urban exploration in. But the bando was a place that was abandoned and had no owner, and most of the time they turned it into the trap. Now the trap is labeled as the trap because usually it's only one way in and one way out. It's one way, so it's a trap. Whether you getting the door kicked in from the police, or you getting the door kicked in because you getting robbed, or you getting the door kicked in because they set you up and that you gonna be meat for that moment. The bando is often at times the trap, and the trap is usually a death trap. That's why they call it the trap. You trapping out of it, but then it's a trap the other way if you get caught up in it, because something bad can happen while you're there. And this privileged child, 19-year-old child that is sitting there having a conversation with his mother and father saying that I ain't never been silver spooned, and do y'all want to go and visit the bando? Oh, little tink.
I used to have to come to my grandma's house because I'm getting in the
You
fight.
cried like a baby to go to your grandmama's house.
Every day.
You used to hold your breath
Every
and
day.
throw tantrums to go over there.
Neighborhood. I don't want to be in these gates. I want to be outside in the neighborhood. That's why I want to be over there.
I don't know anybody in my entire life that ever was actually raised in the hood or in the projects that wanted to be there. You would kill, steal, and destroy in order to get people. One of the reasons why drug dealers and people that poison their community, even though I still think it's toxic and you need to be held accountable, one of the reasons why they get such compassion from people is because they understand that you are willing to sell poison to your own people in order to get yourself up out of there. That's how bad it is. That you're willing to sell poison to your own people in order to put yourself in a better position as a result of it. You know how bad of an environment you got to live in order to be able to sell crack to your own mama? I know people that sold crack to their own mother. You know how bad you got to be down in order to sell dope to your own mother, to your own uncle? You know how bad you got to be down? That don't make it right, but people gave you compassion because they understand that the dire circumstances that you was in caused for you to do some things that you would normally never do, and it removed your humanity as a result of it. And this boy is sitting there, talking about how tough he is, even though he grew up literally with a silver spoon in his mouth. Ain't even supposed to be in a college, supposed to be studying, making something good out of his parents' money, that basically sold crack to their community in the form of the music that they produced and the stuff that they slung out to the people. You know how many people probably listened to your father's music and then consumed it and then crashed out as a result of it? He profited from it in order to pour it into you, and now you then are a disappointment as a result of it. Do you know how much negativity your daddy sold to his community in order to fund your lifestyle, little tink?
But they don't understand
No,
that.
I'm going to tell you the reason why he wanted to be over there. Y'all ready?
What was the reason?
Because He can suck a pacifier over there. See, he was 12 years old.
This boy had a pacifier in his mouth, according to his mama. Now, they in a private box at the Falcons game. They're in a private box at the Falcons game. And this boy was on a passy. He wanted his passy until he was 12 years old. Bro, when I was 11, 12 years old, I was getting boxed. That was when I lost my virginity. When he was 12, and that's nothing to brag about, because if I could do it differently, I would. But when he was 12, he was still asking for his passy. When we was 12, we was out here with the wolves and trying to figure out what the streets was like. When he was 12, he was asking for his passy. And when we was 12, we was trying to figure out how to get through these streets. That's a fact, though. Boy, you 12. Still asking for your pacifier, talking about how you was in the streets?
He was sucking pacifier. He was 12 years old. He couldn't do that in the house.
You cried like a baby. Hold it real.
Yeah.
They trying to say I was over there trying to suck a
teeth.
passy, but they ain't gonna tell you everything. Like that, they trying to hide it.
Ain't nobody hiding that.
Sugarcoat it. He capping. Hey, he know I stand on business. He know that. Ain't no nigga ever pull my car ever in life. I stand on business. You drop me somewhere, I stand on business.
I'm just curious, y'all. In what hood in America can you drop Tink Tink down here? That's right here. This little one right here. At what hood in America are you dropping Tink Tink right here? LA, South Side of Chicago, East Side, 7 Mile, Detroit, Milwaukee, Minneapolis, New York, the Bronx, Overtown down in Miami, Houston. At what hood? I'm honest, I'm genuinely asking a question. In what hood in the United States of America can you drop Tink Tink off in to where this dude is not food? To where he not food. I mean, they see him and they like, oh, dog. Dog, the first thing they gonna notice is that you're a little Tink Tink. Second thing they gonna say is, oh man, we don't even care about him, but we gonna put him up. We gonna look at him as food because of his daddy. Because of his father. Bro, no matter what hood you go to, you are meat. They don't look at you and say, oh man, we need to walk away from him or whatever. Nobody is scared of Tink Tink. We watched you grow up on T.I. and Tiny's Family Hustle. And here's the key about it. You don't have to be tough because you never had to be tough in the first place. Everybody that's tough never wanted to be tough. They were tough because they didn't have any choice in order to survive in their environment. If they had to do it differently, they would rather grow up where you are.
You drop me in your hood, I stand on business.
I don't feel like you stand on business.
Yeah. I've been stood on business. I've been stood on business. You want to hide it for the world, I'm going to put it out there for them to see.
Hey, man,
I wouldn't put up nowhere. You ain't had me put up nowhere. Like, you ain't had me behind the mansion. I was outside doing what I wanted to do.
You was behind that until you cried.
No, I ain't got too much to drink. I drunk too much. Drunk too much. Let's go. Now, get mad because we say the South ain't the suburbs. Then he want to talk about some other like this being shit. This being shit. No, I'm being real. You lying.
Calling your mother and father a liar to their face is disrespectful. Cursing in front of your mother and father is disrespectful. I cut out a large part of this afterwards because he basically got into a small tiff / tussle with T.I. and then they wound up, it wound up not being good for the internet, in my opinion. But the conclusion that we have to draw from this is that I'm not sure where we went wrong within our culture and our community to where we start befriending our children instead of being parents to them. I don't know where we started not giving them discipline. And even the ones that got a father in their life, he has every single advantage that a child, and I still call him a child because he's like a child in his mind. He has every single advantage that a child could have ever wanted in their life in order to be able to level up and really get to the bag. And he's fumbling it. And it's unfortunate. It's very, very unfortunate. I think that it is disappointing. It is sad. It's messed up. It's messed up that you even want. What do he do? He not nice looking to where he can be a model. He not an influencer to where anybody is going to follow him and do whatever it is that he say. He not a rapper to where anybody can quote a lyric from him. He's not educated to where we can actually throw him in a business and then allow for it to thrive. I'm more sad than anything because, and I don't want to predict this. I do not wish them on want to wish this on them. But if they don't allow for this boy to crash out earlier rather than later, he is not going to get his mind right, and he is going to find himself in a very, very, very dire and difficult situation because everybody don't play these type of games. And you can do that inside of the skybox with your mama and your daddy, but that's not going to be a good look for you, family. And so here's the thing. Here is my advice. If this ever gets over to Kane, shut up, go to school, get educated, take the thug off of you, stop getting tattoos. Daddy need to stop smoking with you. You're not cool. You're not a rapper. You are a suburban kid. Go the way of Trump's children. Do something similarly to your brother, Major. You don't hear nothing from Major. You don't see no disrespect. You don't see none of that. He just living off of daddy's money, mommy and daddy's money, and he out here living his life and he having a good time. And if he doesn't, and I do not even want to say this out loud, but if he doesn't, I see a very, very, very terrible, unfortunate future for him later on down the line because they did not spare the rod, or they spared the rod and then they spoiled the child. Nobody believes you. We don't think that you're tough. You're not awesome. Ain't nobody necessarily checking for you. We don't think that you are the coolest kid on the block. We not afraid of you. And there is no hood that you could literally survive in to where anybody won't look at you as food. Seriously, man. Like, this is sad. And this is a similar situation for a lot of our youth in our society, in that he's just at the forefront of it. And Charleston White was absolutely right. If they would have checked this child and they would have checked this chin a long time ago, you quite possibly wouldn't be having this situation in the first place. All of these guys is growing up in these gated communities and these great neighborhoods, and they come from good environments, and they trying to be tough instead of learning how to articulate themselves more effectively. And then hopefully they can add some value into the community instead of living off of daddy's money. He's standing on business, though.